There's a moment that almost everyone reaches where a quiet moment starts repeating in the background. Is this actually doing anything? You're not panicking. You're not spiraling. You're just unsure. You've been showing up. You've been consistent. You've made changes that actually cost you something. And yet, nothing feels different. Because effort is happening, but confirmation isn't. So the mind fills in the gap. It starts offering explanations that sound reasonable. If this were working, I'd feel it by now. If I were on the right path, something would have shifted. Maybe I misunderstood what progress is supposed to feel like. Those thoughts don't feel dramatic. They feel calm, measured, which is why they're dangerous. They feel like clarity when they're actually a reaction to missing feedback. We're trained to expect progress to announce itself, to show up as visible improvement, emotional relief, confidence, momentum. So when none of that appears, we conclude nothing is happening. But that conclusion depends on a single assumption: that progress changes how things look before it changes how things work. In real change, the order is usually reversed, and that reversal creates confusion. The first things to change are structural, not visual. Friction reduces before results improve. Recovery shortens before confidence grows. Habits stabilize before they feel meaningful. You don't suddenly feel better. You hesitate a little less. You come back a little faster. You stop negotiating quite as much. Those shifts don't feel like progress. They feel like nothing. Because nothing dramatic is happening yet, at least not where you've been trained to look. This is why this phase feels uniquely discouraging. From the inside, it feels identical to wasted effort. From the outside, it looks like patience. But patience isn't what's happening here. Reorganization is. The old system is weakening. The new one isn't stable yet. So you're in between. And being in between never feels productive. It feels empty. It feels uncertain. It feels like standing still, which is why most people interrupt it. When nothing feels like it's working, people try to force movement. They change direction. They add intensity. They look for reassurance. Not because they're lazy, but because uncertainty feels intolerable. The absence of feedback gets interpreted as a signal to adjust, when most of the time, it's a signal to stay. In many cases, nothing is working doesn't mean the process is broken. It means the work has moved underground. The visible signs haven't arrived yet, but the conditions for them are being built. That's why people often say later, I didn't realize it was working until it already had. Because by the time progress becomes obvious, the quiet work is already done. When it feels like nothing is working, it's often because you're measuring the wrong layer of change. Not because you're failing, not because you chose wrong, but because the work has shifted somewhere you weren't trained to look yet. When it feels like nothing is working, it's often because the work has moved somewhere quieter and more permanent. This is subtle logic.